Here we are, WCW Monday Nitro, week number 8, October 23rd, 1995, live from the Braun Center, Huntsville, Alabama. 7,000 people in attendance at this show. We are 6 days out from WCW Halloween Havoc, live from Detroit, Michigan on October 29th, 1995. This card featured 3 big matches, but before we get to the main part, we have 3 dark matches to go through, and they are as follows. The Shark defeated the Renegade. The Blue Bloods, Robert Eaton and Lord Steven Regal, defeated the Stud Stable, Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater. And Diamond Dallas Page defeated Cobra to retain his WCW World Television title. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the main part of the show. Great shot of the crowd as the event starts here from the Braun Center in Huntsville, Alabama. As I said, 7,000 in attendance on October 23rd, 6 days prior to Halloween Havoc. We're not going to go to the booth. We're going to go right to the entryway and get this show started off right. Our opening contest, Macho Man Randy Savage making his way to the ring. One of the shining stars here in WCW. One of the most over superstars in the company at this point as well, as he pretty much was wherever he went, because this man oozed charisma and talent. And his opponent is Kurosawa, who he's slated to face at Halloween Havoc, so it makes not a lot of sense that he's facing off against him here, as you really want to keep them both looking strong. There's a shot of David Pinzer's note card, and Robert Parker gets pushed down, and Kurosawa goes on the offense against Savage and really maintains that beat for most of this match. We see the chops, kicks, punches, stomps, all this offense being employed by Kurosawa, as Savage really took a beating. He got about one hope spot here as he caught Kurosawa off guard. He throws him out of the ring. You know, he eats shit, but gets right back up on the apron, comes in with a big chop, Irish whip spot into a big back body drop, up post, 2 count, and no. As Kurosawa would maintain the offensive advantage through the early part and most of this match, he really went to work on that heavily taped arm of Randy Savage, not giving him any room to breathe. You know, punches, stomps, kicks, elbows. We see here a nice kick to the shoulder as he's got him in an arm wringer. So he would maintain this. Savage would, however, get a hope spot in, though, in the form right here of an eye rake from almost a standing grapple, but that advantage was short-lived as Kurosawa would come back with a throat thrust and knock Savage off his feet. He would powder to the outside of the ring. Kurosawa rolls back, comes through with the baseball slide, kicks Savage as he rolls right into the guardrail. As I just said, do not adjust your screen. Kurosawa was going to go to the well again. This time comes up empty with the baseball slide. Eats shit. Macho Man rolls over to the ring post. Kurosawa gets back up. He's going to go after. He's loading up for one of those kicks as Macho Man's leaning against the ring post, but he would miss. Kicks the ring post. He's down. Come into the ring. Tries to put Macho in an arm bar. Macho grabs him. Runs him rope first. Chest first into the ropes. Big clubbing blow to the back of the neck, drops him down. Savage looks to the turnbuckle. You know what time it is. Savage goes up top, hits the big elbow splash for the 1, 2, 3. Here is your winner, a battered, bruised, beaten Macho Man Randy Savage. Still finds a way to come out on top in this match against Kurosawa, who is a more than worthy opponent. But this would be Kurosawa's very first loss on WCW Monday Nitro. We travel to the broadcast position for the first time as Eric Bischoff is emphatically telling us that Hulk Hogan and the Dungeon of Doom are in the building, but Mongo is doing something curious with his hand as Bischoff is talking, and it just kind of threw me off. This is our commentary team proper: Eric Bischoff, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Steve Mongo McMichael. And they are, again, talking as we see the lights go down and we are taken over to the side of the stage with the Master, the leader of the Dungeon of Doom, as it were. So the Master's rambling on and on about something or other, and, you know, he alludes to the big block of ice being an insurance policy against Hulk Hogan at Halloween Havoc for the Giant, and this angle was just absolutely stupid. This huge block of ice, and, well, we know what follows tonight. Giant block of ice notwithstanding, Mean Gene is with Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, and the Giant. The Taskmaster again puts over the fact that the block of ice is an insurance policy for Halloween Havoc for the Giant to use against Hulk Hogan in their continued effort to extinguish the fire of Hulkamania. The Giant says he's not only going to take Hogan's title, but he will take his life at Halloween Havoc, and that's about it for this promo. Speaking of Halloween Havoc, that's live in 6 days, Sunday, October 29th, 7 p.m. on pay-per-view. Check with your local cable provider for availability. Machine versus Machine. Hogan, the Giant on the roof of the Cobo Hall. Making their way down the ramp, Hulk Hogan and the Mouth of the South, his manager, Jimmy Hart, and they go to meet up with Mean Gene, and Hogan goes off the rails, telling Okerlund he might keep the black look after Halloween Havoc because
everybody knows what a man with a pair of black gloves on and a black rag on his head is capable of doing.
To further the insanity, Hogan would go on to accuse Sting of attempting to steal his gimmick because Sting was wearing red and yellow later on that night. And then he said he'd deal with Luger, he'd deal with Savage. He didn't care who was in his way. He ripped off the neck brace, said he's going into the title defense at 100%. Flexes. Mean Gene says, "Oh yeah!" And we go back to our announce team. This episode of Nitro has me questioning how I got so lucky with 2 tag team matches to end the night. This one between the Iceman, Dean Malenko, the Crippler, Chris Benoit, and their opponents, Eddie Guerrero and Mr. JL. Now, I bet you're wondering, why is Mr. JL in this match? Well, Alex Wright was scheduled to team with Eddie, but he is on crutches. And the mysterious one, Mr. JL, who appeared in WCW with literally no build, is now subbing for Alex Wright, who we've seen him and Eddie have a good dynamic. Little intensity between Guerrero and Benoit between the matches. They go into a very aggressive collar and elbow tie-up, which would lead to Guerrero taking the early advantage. But Benoit uses the hair, backs Guerrero into the ropes. Check out this little Irish whip spot here. Dean Malenko going outside, but they pick Guerrero up, holds him, says, "Let's go to the well one more time." And here comes Benoit. He misses. Him and Malenko collide. Then JL decides to get in on the act. Guerrero vaults him over the top rope as a press and takes out Malenko and Benoit at the same time. Dean gets in to square off with Eddie, and of course, Eddie gets the better of him, which happens after that nice little sequence there with the backbreaker. Eddie takes the advantage, and I always hated how they put people over on Malenko. I hated it because I loved Dean. Here's a split screen, Shark and Norton fighting backstage. Guerrero, though, big drop kick on Malenko. Eddie decides to walk the top rope here. He's got Dean by the hand. Here comes Chris. Double takedown. That was a beautiful move by Eddie Guerrero. A little more Irish whip action between JL and Guerrero out of the corner leads to Benoit being outside the ring with Guerrero. Malenko and JL in the ring, and here we go. Just like I said, let's put this guy over on Dean, who has no build. Here's your winners, Mr. JL, Eddie Guerrero, and Alex Wright. They celebrate outside the ring, but Pillman comes in and decks Guerrero, taking him out, and then delivers a devastating DDT right on the concrete on the walkway, flashes the Four Horsemen sign, and gets out of Dodge. Next on Nitro, Sting and Lex Luger take on the Harlem Heat with Miss Sherry. And that, like I said, is coming up next. That is our Nitro main event. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is WCW Monday Nitro main event time, and making their way to the ring first, the team of the Harlem Heat, Booker T, Stevie Ray, Sister Sherry. I always liked this pairing. These two were monsters. They're both huge men, and it gets lost on you sometimes how big Booker T actually was, because you look at Stevie Ray and Booker, clearly the more athletic of the two of them. Stevie was the more physically imposing. But Booker T, no slouch in the size department, going around 6'5" and probably around 245 to 260 at some points in his career. Their opponents, Lex Luger and Sting, another team. This is a big, almost like a big hoss fight, but Sting so athletic, Booker athletic, kind of offsets Stevie and Lex, who good in their own rights. I know some people may disagree with me, but a lot of face-to-face, nose-to-nose before this match between these two teams. As you can tell, the animosity's there. So we have referee Nick Patrick trying to keep this thing on the up and up before the opening bell rings. Here we go. Sting and Booker starting out. Booker goes straight heel, drops Sting down, decides to celebrate a little bit, do a little taunt, of course, but Sting comes back, big drop kick, drops Booker. He goes to the outside, eats shit. Booker kind of hanging outside for a moment, trying to compose himself. Sting decides to go out, give him a right hand and a left hand, and help him back in the ring, as it were. And Booker gets in. Now, Sting doesn't have much time as he goes to climb back in. Booker's already off to the races, hitting the ropes, coming back at Sting, but it ends to no avail again with a big back body drop spot. Leads to a tag to Lex Luger, who comes in to perform the most devastating move in sports entertainment off the second rope. Yes, a double axe handle, which for his efforts, he eats a knee from Booker T going into a commercial. And when we come back, so here we are back from commercial now. Lex is in the control of Stevie Ray, who has him down on the mat in a nerve hold. What do you know? Stevie Ray with the rest hold goes to tag in Booker. Booker comes into the ring, proceeds to level Lex with a beautiful drop kick. Booker, so athletic, puts the boots to Lex as he's on the mat, eating the bottom of the shoe, and we go for a 2 count, kick out, of course, but more punches. More punches, more punches. And this is funny. Watch how much he does not connect with this one. It's just not even there. Sting comes in, breaks up that with some rake to the eyes of Booker T. Booker does not want any part of that, goes and tags in Stevie. Stevie comes in, takes Lex immediately to the corner, starts working him over, doing the big guy stuff, comes right back over, though, and tags Booker back in, who comes right in, up, chokehold. Nope, we're not going to come in yet. Yep, now we do. That choke got Sting distracted on the other side of the ring. The legal man waits off. There we go. There's the tag from Stevie to Booker now. Lex still in control. Stevie holds him. Booker walks around, stalks Lex, and nice little side kick to the gut as Booker maintains control. He goes over, hits Sting in the face, while Lex is down, though, to get referee Nick Patrick distracted again so we can work this double team as we get him, Lex, back in the corner again with a Stevie choke as Booker comes over to kind of goad Sting in. Sting gets stopped by the referee. And then in the middle of the match, we have Sherry looking at pictures of Colonel Robert Parker and herself, just out of nowhere. But come back in. We have a rest hold. What do you know? Stevie Ray got a reverse chin lock on Lex. And why wouldn't Stevie do a rest hold? But here we go. The Lex Hulk up and Hulk back down. And we see the ominous block of ice there sitting up by the master at the top of the stage. Right back into the ring. Booker misses the Harlem Hangover. Double down time. Let's get into the hot tag. Lex, of course, gets over. He makes it first. Sting comes in, House of Fire. Lays everybody out. You know, Stinger all hyped up. This will lead into Irish Whip. And you know what spot Sting does with this. Big Stinger splash out. Nope, clothesline first. Minute. Psyched you out. But here we go. Sting loads up. And Stinger splash number 1. He loads up again. Man in the opposite corner. Here we go. Sting loads up. Stinger splash. Number 2. Stevie stood up just in time. Sting goes for the Scorpion Deathlock, but it is not going to happen. Side kick knocks him back. Luger comes across the ring to take out Stevie, and they brawl over. But watch this sequence dumped out. Luger's about to get Pearl Harbored again from the backside because Lex is, he barely got any offense. He takes the double suplex. Sting very patient on the turnbuckle, though. Waits for Booker to turn around, and he got some distance on that clothesline. Quick pin. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, Sting and Lex Luger. But if you see the top corner, Taskmaster is on his way into the ring. Unaware of the enemy combatants entering the ring, Sting and Luger celebrate their victory until Giant comes in. Luger goes up. Luger goes down with a choke slam. On the other side of the ring, Sting kind of turns, feeds right into it, up and down with a monster choke slam. Savage hits the ring like a house of fire, goes right after Sullivan as he's kind of working over Sting, knocks him down. Then Giant and Savage square off. Crowd loves it. But at this point, the Giant doesn't realize Hogan's behind him. They have a back and forth. Hogan gets Savage. Savage powders. So Hogan and the Giant are going to have a mini match. Hogan's, of course, playing to the crowd during this whole thing. And Giant cocks back with the big right hand. Hogan, of course, blocks it, returns fire, hits him with another one. Giant, unaffected, blocks Hogan's right hand. Giant grabs Hogan in a front face lock. Big clubbing blow to the back. Down goes Hulk. Hulk hulks up, though, as Giant is kind of playing to the crowd. I got him, yeah, the big heel. And we see the better shot of the Hulk up here, which looks so funny without his mustache. He beats Giant from pillar to post. Dungeon of Doom hits the ring. It's a schmaz. You got Shark, Zodiac. Zodiac goes for a ride. Ming, Sullivan, Giant, Hogan, Savage. They're holding their own, and it comes down to Giant, and Hogan runs him into the post. Dillinger's got a blackjack in his hand during this whole sequence. It's absolutely hilarious that he's threatening Hogan with a freaking blackjack at this point. But the Giant and Sullivan are making their exit. The lights in the arena start to flash, and we go up to that big block of ice, and we get a bunch of sparks, and lights go off, and boom, it's the Yeti. Now, here he is. I don't understand how a mummy is going to break out of a block of ice. This is something that always vexed me about this angle. Who wrote this creatively? I mean, did Kelvin Sullivan book this? And this had to make it by other people that had to, kind of sign off on this gimmick. But there you go. This is the last Nitro headed in to Halloween Havoc next Sunday night, ladies and gents. So that's it. That's this week's Nitro. I thought it was a great show, on all honesty. Got a little bit messy at times, but the overall continuation of the stories really brought it home.
Get your own.
Take that, you bitch!
No! What the hell?
How'd you like that?
Hey, joke's on you. I have hepatitis.
Boom! I could do this all. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Bye.